technology has come a long way since your traditional Russian stim. In fact, we always knew that DC had this ability to get you out of pain and help retrain muscles. However, we also knew there was a secondary component of building strength and hypertrophy that we really didn't dive deep into. And then COVID happened. And as a strength and conditioning coach, that to me was an opportunity to dive a little deeper. So because all the gyms were actually closed, I thought it was a perfect opportunity where I gave up the weights and I tried nothing but direct current as my workout, and I did it for an entire year. And the results blew me away. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Direct Current Live. And today, as you can see on the front, we are working arms and core. I say arms because the placement's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be on the lateral portion of the bicep, and on the core, it's going to be right in the center. We're not going to cross it. We're still going to go bilateral. So if you look at this model, those of you who are going to set up with me, the black is going to be going vertically on the outside, and the red is going to be going vertically on the core. I will set that up with you as we go through it. That being said, boy, I got to tell you, I'm going to use this opportunity to brag about the Chicago office. Look, this is satisfying. Brand spanking new, high performance right here. And I cannot wait to use these freshly just sent pads from the Chicago office. And it's going to be fun stuff. So I asked her like, I don't know, 2 days ago, if I can get some new ones. And here we are already. So the Chicago office they're absolutely rock stars when it comes to getting equipment back to you. So if you haven't ordered these yet, believe it or not, if you order them today, you will have these by our next live on Tuesday. I can almost guarantee it. That's how fast they are. I can't wait to do it. All right. So before I do pad placements, we're going to do that in a second. I got a few questions that came in. One was through email, and I've said this. I know I've said this. Maybe I said it in my dreams. I didn't really say it. This person gave me a hard time for not answering comments in the comment section of our social media. I feel like I've said numerous times, if you're not joining live, I'm not going to answer comments in the comment section. You have to reach out to me at info@arpneuro.com. I mean, someone should post something underneath while I say that, so that way people know to ask me questions at info@arpneuro.com. Somehow they did find my email and they were able to ask me a question. John, I'm not giving you a hard time, but I'm giving you a hard time. Follow directions, sir. Yes, it's tough love here at Direct Current Live. Here's this question. Where can I purchase this machine? Which was an interesting question, because if you just go to info@arpneuro, if you just go to arpneuro.com on our website, if you go to the shop, you definitely can actually purchase either one of these. There is also rental options. So yeah, there you go. All right. So black lead, I'm going on the lateral side of my bicep, going long ways. Now, again, these pads might be different than yours because these are the 3x4. These are the high performance pads. Again, if you want to go to the shop, this is where you can get them. These are brand spanking new. Remember, I used the last ones on Tuesday. I used them through. So I'm going to say, if you're doing this 2 to 3 times a week, these pads actively are going to last you about 6 weeks, give or take, if you take care of them. Now, understand, every time I was done with the treatment, I would pull these off the cord and I put them in the pouch, which saves the life of the actual pad. So seal the pouch, treat them well, and you will get the best bang for your buck on these. They are more expensive, but I will tell you, they're my go-to pads, especially when it comes to this fitness side. So once again, we are working arms and core. Now, I say arms because even though it's on the lateral side of the bicep, you will this pad position actually engages both biceps and triceps. This is why I call it mostly arms. Just in general, you're going to be able to feel the benefits on both biceps and triceps. And of course, the core, there we go. I'm pretty close. I might go a little wider here, catch it more on the outside, especially with these 4x3 pads. Again, high performance pads. I'm using them. Got some brand new ones in here, and we're all set. It's gonna go. We're gonna set it for 10 minutes, just like normal. I'm gonna go on the duty cycle. It's going to be. We're gonna start off at 3/1 today. 3/1, and we're going to go on the pulse frequency, drop it all the way down to 40 pulses per second. Thanks for joining in, everyone. If you are just now joining in, we are working arms and core, as you could see. Lateral bicep, that's the black pad, and then the red will be the passive one or the lighter hit. So red's on the core, black is on the arms. All right, we're gonna do this very similar to the core last time, where I'm not going to reverse this. It's going to stay predominantly on the arms for normal, but your core is going to feel it. We are going to change up the pulse frequency, after the first 10 minutes are up. We're going to start 10 minutes. All right, just so you know, this is the settings. 10 minutes, normal polarity, 40 pulses. If you could see that on the duty cycle, if this guy could actually just adjust this properly. I need an assistant. Here we go. I need an assistant. 3/1. It's still blurry. 3/1. All right, moving on. John, I didn't mean to give you a hard time on your question. Thanks for your question. You can purchase it at arpneuro.com. Sally asked me something. Can this device help with migraines? It certainly can. We do have some videos on that. I will reach out to you. I have your email, and I'll show you some protocols with that. One more question before we continue on, and then I got some questions afterwards. And feel free, if you are joining in live, feel free to ask questions. And while we're going through this workout, I will answer your questions while we're live. I will not come back and answer comments like a little child. You have to email me like an adult. Sorry, that's just the way it works. I post and ghost. That's my philosophy. All right, Bobby. Can you do movements with this device? Yes, you can. I can't read my own writing. We will get into some movements with this technology. Right now, I want to show the bare minimum that you can do on a performance fitness side, where we don't even have to actually move. We're going to just sit here at the desk. All right, let me put my phone on airplane mode. Otherwise, this is around the time I get about 15 text messages. All right, let's hit start. Let's get this on, and I'm going to crank it up. Again, 40 contractions per second on a 3/1. There we go. We got some fire into it. Amplify experts. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for joining in again. That's 2 in a row for you. Jake, do you recommend a warm-up or stretch prior to, if we have time, is that needed? Technically, no, that's a great question. Not necessarily the way we're doing it. I am on a 3/1. We're going to build up today. We're going to try to get to a 6/1. So every couple of minutes, I am going to increase the duty cycle. But on the lower duty cycle, whether it's 2/1, 3/1, you're kind of warming up anyway. So what I would say is just go at a low output power for this first couple of minutes, because we're definitely going to get into that point where we fire it up. So yeah, we're kind of doing a warm up, I guess, is to answer your question. Now, when you work this device, you're gonna get some feedback. And what's interesting on my end, and I'll share this with you just based on like one of the injuries. And if you followed me for a while, if you followed our channel at ARP Neuro, any Q&As, I have talked about this in the past where I've had some issues with the hip. And there's just imbalances that I've been working on. What you'll find in this device is, I feel this now, where it is lighter. This is my right side. So if the camera's flipped, this is my right, maybe your left. But that is where my hip, it has issues. Ironically, I'm feeling less in my right side of my core. The reason why I pointed that out is, if you wanted to, you look at the lead that's on the right side, and you can literally adjust that balance. If you look over here, where it's currently at 50-50 over there, you could switch that balance and move more of it over to that weaker side, which is what I'm going to do. And that'll give me a gauge as to how off is that side of my core. And it's a 60-40 right now. So now I have 60% of the current going to my right side. That's the imbalance, which isn't surprising because your core is involved in a lot of issues. Now, ideally, when I'm really training this, I don't want to be seated. Now, again, my back isn't supported by the chair. I'm kind of holding this good posture. But ideally with the core, you want to be standing or you want to do some movements, and down the road, we'll certainly do that. All right, I'm going to a 4/1. So if you were following me, 3/1 duty cycle. Now I'm headed to a 4/1. Increase that output power. Now we're getting some real juice. So the balance still 60-40, but then after multiple, kind of sessions that I go through with this, it'll give me an idea of, am I starting to even this out? And sometimes even in the first session that I'm doing, I'll start to feel, oh, okay, I'm waking that right side up. So it does do a good job in pulling out some of those indeficiencies, muscular breakdowns, just by running it this way. All right, let's go up again. I don't know where your output power is, but keep pushing the numbers. Yiza. Beautiful. Again, today I'm going to try to get to a 6/1. And again, the longer you're working that duty cycle, the more you're hitting the muscle, the more intense the workout is. But I do like this flex and release where it goes, kind of ramps up, contracts it, and pulls it off. It's more realistic to a traditional workout. And not only that, it allows you to get to higher output power numbers. Think of output power numbers as increasing weight. And here's what we know. In exercise science, when you're trying to gain strength, build muscle, things of that nature, whether it's strength, hypertrophy, or power, what we do know is increasing the amount of weight helps you get to your failure easier. So higher weight usually is a result or leaves a result of more strength, more hypertrophy. And, again, there's certain training aspects that go within strength, hypertrophy, and power, but that's the ideal. I said all that because we're able to increase that weight load, just like you would have to do in the gym where we're increasing with more weight. However, we're not putting pressure on our joints. So we're not risking any injuries. And at the same time, we're getting the benefits of building strength while I'm just sitting here at my desk. And I got pretty high on this for just sitting here on core and arms. Again, new high performance pads. If you're just joining in, if you were here on my last video, you would notice that the pads were falling off. So I switched them and I went to a traditional pad. But the performance pads lasted me for 6 weeks. And what I was doing for maintenance is when I was finished, I pulled them off the cable. I put them on the plastic. I put them back into the bag, and then I sealed the bag. If you do that every time, you're going to get a lot of life out of your pads, even though they are a little pricier. But they're worth it. All right, I'm going to go up again. We're getting around the 4-minute mark. So in about 5 seconds, which is now, I'm going to go to a 5/1. And look I just noticed the compensation. So, all right, I'm at high output power now. And watch this. Compensates. That's involuntary. Now watch. Deep breath in. On that exhale, even at 40, I'm able to start to move through it. Neurologically, though, it's exhausting. But keep in mind, you can control those involuntary movements. Some of those involuntary movements are going to be a result of muscular breakdown. And some of that could be because maybe a muscle is just not absorbing force wherever it's hitting. And as a result, we're getting this like supination a little bit. But I'm able to work through it. And if you could stay in form, you're still at a good output. Always push the numbers if you can. I'm always going to try to encourage that. But go at your best. Don't worry so much about the person next to you. Do what you can do. I'm going to go up again. Those of you scoring at home, I'm at a 35. So no, I did not max it out. If you maxed it out on this position, kudos. So what people are like, what's maxing it out? So this device is by far the most intense on the market. And right now I'm at 30. Now watch how deep it contracts. Watch, doing nothing, doing nothing. Oh, there it is. And it's flexing at a weight load of, let's just say at 30. That's the weight load. It goes up to 100. So it's pretty intense. Again, keep good posture. If you're sitting on a chair, don't lean back. You want a basically just a good form here. Kind of going back to that question that we got, can you do movements with this? We're getting closer to the next level of performance that I want to show that what this device can do. And we will be getting into some light movements. And, we're not going to get into like in-depth movements or extreme range of motion, but you'll see some of this with reps, and then using this device as an actual workout device while you're doing reps, you'll start to have more of an aha moment as to what this can do. Oh yeah. All right. We're at a minute and a half, and I'm going to a 6/1 duty cycle. There's a compensation. So we're at the last 2 minutes, less than that. It's going to be longer contraction. Now you can always increase that that rest load as well. So if you want the duty cycle to go 6/2, longer on the contraction, longer on the rest, that's perfectly fine as well. I'm already sweating. Always make sure you breathe through it. Taxing the core. And again, not having to put a lot of hit here because that 40 does it heavily. And I'm going to change my mind here. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of options, but just to give you another look on putting the heavier hit on the core, instead of going 500, since we're not doing a movement, we're just kind of sitting here. I'm not standing. I'm just kind of at the desk. I'm actually going to reverse the current, and the heavier hit is now going to be on the abs. So try that if you're following along. And yeah. I did get to 40. Pushing it while I talk. 10 seconds. That might be the last full contraction I get. It's ramping up quickly though. 4, 3, 2, 1. Boop. It just pops off. What is that? All right. Gonna make this easy now. So I am sweating, if you can see that, but definitely staying well to the arms. I still, again, I leave the pads exposed just so those of you who aren't familiar with this, who are joining in, you get to see the muscle contractions. It's harder to do when you wrap the entire arms, but I do recommend wrapping even your stomach. If you can get a wrap around there, keep them secure. Keep them secure. I used the new pads on Monday for a chest and tricep workout. Definitely more intense. Still sore today. That's good delayed onset muscle soreness. It's like a workout. They're high performance for a reason. They are more intensive because it secures the skin a lot better, through movements. Even as it's sweating, I'm doing movements, and it reacts with the skin. So because there's no backing, there's no spine, basically. All right, we're going to reverse it. We're going to start back at a 3/1, and it's going to be 40 pulses per second on the reverse. So the heavier hit's going to be on the core. I'm at a 60/40, but I'm going to go back to 50/50. Again, if you're just joining in, I adjusted the balance to see, I had an imbalance. So I put more on that one side to help wake that up. Hopefully it's the same on 50/50. And now we're going directly on core, so this will give me a good gauge. All right, I hit start. So 10 minutes and counting. Here we go, turning it up. Right now I'm at a 3/1. So if you're scoring at home, it's going to be a little quicker, but we will, every couple minutes or so, we will build it up. Oh, you see the abs really hitting a lot heavier, and I'm not very high yet. I'm only at 23. But watch this. I'm going to relax. Yeah, forces the it's funny because if you ever see whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, you'll see some of these ads and I've seen them before, and it's like, this was the secret for special forces. And they put this core pad on it, and it's like, it's jumping, it's going really fast, and it moves the abs. Just because you can move the abs doesn't mean you're actually getting to cellular level and you're working them out. It should be going slower. So watch this. Watch how it grabs. It doesn't make the abs jump. It literally is flexing. Look at that. I'm not doing any of it. Watch how it relaxes. That's when it comes off. So that's the way the technology should work if you're literally working out the core, as opposed to, oh, this is the secret for special forces. They put a pad on your stomach and then it bounces around and they don't even have to do a sit-up. While the technology is out there, it's not out there for $59.99. I'm sorry. I wish it was. We're trying to get there someday. All right, turning it up a little bit. In about 20 seconds, I'm going to go to a 4/1. Ooh, I got aggressive on this one. Oof. Now, what's interesting is I might have fired up that right side a little bit better because everything feels even, which is exciting to me because now we're at 50-50, but you can always adjust that balance. Now, if you have the take-home unit, you can't really adjust the balance. Don't worry about that. But there's a lot of other benefits to having that take-home, that smaller unit as well. Oy. Now, what's going to get exciting is when we do get into some movements. That's where I use a lot of the 500 pulses per second. And, that connection, you'll be surprised on how you have a good mind to muscle connection when you're doing the movements along with this. And you certainly can with the 40, but one of the things with 40 is because it's heavier hit on one specific area, it is a lot harder to move. So a lot of times, just to maintain the benefit of the output power, you could just sit here and let it do its thing. We're not moving at all. It's moving for us. Surprisingly, I'm getting just as high on the output power as I was on the arms, which is good as far as I'm concerned. Again, trying to push the numbers. As you notice, I'm going up until I find that max. Where I want to get is I want to get to a point where I start to feel a slight compensation. And what I noticed here is I started to get that supination in my wrist. So I want to stay there until my body can control that better. And then once it does, then I'll increase that output power. Right now, I'm pretty close to my max, which I know is shameful because I just got to 40. Yeah, back in the day, it was hundreds all day. I will also argue, though, when I was getting to 100, I wasn't actually working out with weights. I'm actually doing both these days. I'm doing these workouts and I'm working out with weights. So I'm sure there's muscle fatigue there, but maybe I've just become a weenie over the years. That's possible too. That's why I have no friends. Hanging in there. We're down to 5 minutes. So actually 6 minutes. I'm going to a 4/1. If you are following along, 4/1 on the duty cycle. We're almost at the 5-minute period to finish up. So the second half, which would be the 15-minute period. Whew. My core is screaming. Wowza. Had a different hit. 4 seconds makes a difference. It's like making that isometric a lot longer and going a lot slower on the eccentric. That's kind of what it's doing for you. So think about it. This is the machine is actually going really slow, holding that stretch before it lets up. Oh, it's doing the work for you. So fun. I can't see myself right now for whatever reason. Hopefully you guys can. I clicked out of a screen here, but hopefully, because I can see it on my end, hopefully you can see the muscle contractions and then relax. My goodness. I refuse to believe that 40 is my max. I'm going up again. Some of you are like, I'm at 100 already. What's your problem? Quit showing off. Oh. Honestly, if you can max this out, you're one of the few. Most people can't. So not a big deal if you cannot. Yowza. Now, I do say this, maybe I don't say it enough. If you are doing this with me, um, hold on. If you're doing this with me, make sure you take protein afterwards. Treat it like a workout because you are getting muscle fatigue. You are getting muscular breakdown like you would a traditional high intense workout. So think of this 20 minutes as at least an hour to an hour and a half intense workout. So take protein, eat a meal, drink water, hydrate, whatever it is you do after workout. Oh my goodness. It is hitting my stomach like a hammer. I'm definitely sweating. If you look at the before and after, let me look at, I found out where I'm at. Now I can see myself. Oh yeah, you could tell. Whew, not that I want to look at myself. Oh man. So when you're not going up and it starts to become harder to control, chances are you're at muscle fatigue. And if you can't control it, just go ahead and turn it down. Because you're getting towards the ending point where it's like, all right, maybe a little cool down. We're going to 5/1 these last 2 minutes. Actually, I got to 6/1 on the last one, right? Okay. Well, in the next minute, I'll go to a 6/1. Right now, I'm at 5/1. You can do this straight for 10 minutes. I would recommend maybe less time if you go straight contractions and no relaxing off cycles. Whoo! Again, keep the posture good, not leaning on the chair. Oh, let the machine do its thing. Oh, my goodness. Burning the abs for sure. The arms feel it, but we're on that passive side with the arms because everything is reversed. That heavier hit is on the core. Hope you guys are doing well. Hang in there. Go down if you need to. Go up if you're ready. Oh. And again, what is this doing? It is contracting currently my muscles at 40 times per second. Output power or weight load of wherever we're at, we're currently at 40.5. That's not even half of what this machine can do. So that'll give you a gauge. I'm at a 40 and I'm sweating and working my booty off. That's only 40% of the power of what this machine can do. So if you think it's not strong enough to do certain things, think again. And on the medical side, make sure you check out our website, arpneuro.com. Find a clinic near you, and you can see a lot of the tools of what this can do. I never went to a 6/1. Here we go. 6/1. Last minute. I'll stick around for a few minutes afterwards. I'll show you what you can do on a cool down. 30 seconds. Oh, my goodness. That is firing up. I think this is the most I've sweat. I really tried to push it today. In it, instead of I think last time we went on core, I didn't reverse. We went to 500. I wanted you to feel that one. We're on reverse, and that is heavy on the abs. 10 seconds. This will be my last deep contraction. Oh. Guys usually suck at this one because, anyway, there it is. Wow. For how much I'm sweating, I am surprised these new pads didn't fall off. It makes me wonder, maybe these won't last as long because I am truly drenched right now. I don't even know if the camera can pull it off. To give you an idea, did nothing but talk and push the output power. So there it is, 20 minutes again. And what I want to do here is stay on the basic pad placements and set it for 5 minutes. And just go on normal polarity, 500 pulses per second. and you just want a light sensation. Now to go faster at 500, I just turned it off and on. So, and what I'll do here is when you watch this, it's just going to jump around a little bit. You could barely feel it there. It's a light. It's kind of contracting. You can't really see it though. I'm not going deep. I think I'm at a 10. Yeah. I go a little bit more. You don't want to grab like that. You see how it grabbed heavier? You don't want that. That's too much. Turn it down. Just cool down. You just want blood flow into that area. Light contraction is really good. That's it. Wonderful stuff. This is the Thursday, 9 a.m. Thanks for your questions. Again, you have any additional questions, if you did not join in the live, reach out to info@arpneuro.com. Send a question that way. It'll come back to me. I'll either answer it on the next live or I will send you an email. The questions are great. I appreciate it. Keep them coming. If you do have any questions regarding this particular technology, arpneuro.com talks about the science. It talks about a lot of clinics near you where the medical side of this, what it can do to help certain conditions. I mean, that truly is the bread and butter of this device. We're just kind of showing the byproduct. So make sure you check it out at arpneuro.com. In the meantime, keep watching. If you like this video, hit the like button, share it, and we'll see you next time on Tuesday next week, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll get it right. We'll see you on Tuesday.